Welcome back to another whiteboard lesson with Audrey and Mason. Today we are going to be talking about the unexplained weight gain. It feels like you're just packing on the weight for no reason, despite trying harder, you're eating healthier, you're moving your body more, but the weight is just not coming off. And in fact, you're actually slowly gaining weight. Let's talk about why that is, because it's actually not very unexplained. We're about to explain why.
So the first thing we're going to talk about here is your first diet. So this is the first time that you drop calories, you start doing some cardio, maybe you have some training in the mix, but you're probably restricting a ton. So over time, you might see 20 pounds of weight loss, maybe 40, sometimes even more than that. But you hit this stone wall where metabolism kind of really slows down. We hit a plateau and we're not really moving or progressing much further from that. So that's what happens here.
Now, after you see a lot of success with your first diet, what probably happens when you hit a stall and you try harder, you eat less food, you're super healthy, you're super clean, you feel restricted. Maybe the holidays come around, maybe it's summertime, you're traveling, so you start to fall off a little bit. And what happens when our metabolism is a little bit slowed down and we also go back to our old ways of poor habits and unhealthy diet is we gain weight a little bit more rapidly. And you're not gonna see this weight gain come on, completely overnight, but maybe you've actually gained more weight than you even started off because our metabolism's a little bit slowed down. And again, we go back to another extreme of an unhealthy diet and unhealthy habits.
So now that we saw that rapid weight gain, we've yo-yoed from our first diet, right? Where we saw some results, but due to the metabolism being downregulated, we rebounded a little bit because we started eating more too fast. Now we go into our second diet. So we're trying to do what we did in the first diet. However, this time around, your body's less efficient. So you're not able to lose as much. You're not seeing as much progress. And typically in this second diet is where a lot of people get very frustrated. They get annoyed. You're like, it's my genetics, it's my body. What the hell is going on? Why can't I lose weight? So that's typically what we see here in diet number 2 after we've already went through our first iteration, put some weight back on and went into that second diet there.
So what happens when you're frustrated, when you feel like you're doing all the right things, but you're just desperate to get that extra weight off? You try harder. Maybe you start eating less. Maybe you're looking around at other diets. Maybe you start cutting out all of your carbs, or you start saying, no, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to go out to eat. You start just becoming a little bit more restrictive. And maybe this means you're also spending more time in the gym, you're doing more cardio. And what happens when we really undereat calories and we really overdo cardio? Well, a couple things, but the bigger pieces is one, you're putting your body under so much stress. And ladies specifically, when you are under that much chronic stress, because there's many different forms of stress, right? You have the psychological component of you're not seeing any progress and you're getting frustrated by that. That's still a form of stress. We also have the form of stress that is over-exercising and under-eating. So that's gonna downregulate your metabolism more. It's gonna cause hormonal issues. Potentially you start feeling more bloated, maybe some gut issues. And the really crappy thing is now you might even actually start tapping into some muscle. And so when you start losing some muscle, your metabolism slows down even more. So now we're in this really, really crappy position after trying harder from diet 2.
So then what happens is we don't reverse properly. We're going to see an uptick in body fat and a downtick on our metabolism, right? Because we did lose muscle after we were trying harder. So for those of you that don't know what a reverse diet is simply going from your lower calories, bring you back up to your maintenance, but in a way where we want to mitigate the fat gain while increasing the metabolism and building muscle. But considering we don't slowly bring up our calories, you probably just went from 1,200 to like 1,800 or 1,200, even 2,000 calories because you've been restricting for so long. That's why we see this imbalance where metabolism doesn't uptick, but fat upticks, and we don't build a whole lot of muscle in that process too.
And what happens in this process when we are at such low calories for so long is your body's gonna become very efficient at using the little calories that you are giving it. You're only giving it 1,200 calories. It now knows I have to survive off of 1,200 calories, and so naturally things are gonna slow down. So now you can see with every diet that we're doing, so you didn't reverse properly, you gain more body fat, perhaps you saw a little bit success on this third diet attempt or on the second diet attempt, but not a whole lot, right? And again, you fall off, you go back to old ways, you don't properly do that reverse diet, and then you're left with more weight than you even started, metabolism that's really slowed down. Perhaps now you're feeling all of the side effects of that from low energy, fatigue, your relationship with food is all screwed up now, and then the cycle rinses and repeats. We gain that weight back, we try to diet again with an even slower metabolism, and it just continues to happen. At the end, we're left with a lot less muscle, a lot less of an efficient metabolism, we feel like crap, and also we're just feeling a little bit defeated.
And to be completely frank, this is majority majority of people on their fitness journey trying to do it on their own, especially women, find themselves in these types of cycles because most women, they'll go through some of these cycles and there's other things that pop up. Because when we're talking about metabolism, we're talking about so much more than just how much your body can eat to see results or how much you can eat to maintain your weight. We're talking about hormones and actual gut health, which are things that take a massive hit when we diet, because when we diet, we put our body under stress. And when we diet really hard, we put our body under a lot of stress. We have a lot of stress for extended periods of time or for multiple iterations, 1, 2, 3, 4 diets or dieting over decades. We run into a lot of issues internally, which then downregulates our metabolism because your metabolism is made up of your hormones, your gut health, your adrenals, your thyroid function, all these things. They take a hit when we diet aggressively over extended periods of time.
Think about it this way, especially as a female, when we are under this type of chronic stress of over stressing our bodies and working out and then under feeding our bodies, right? It's seen as a threat. And even though we don't have the scarcity of food anymore, like we perhaps had way back when, our bodies don't know that. So even though our environment has changed, the way that our body responds really hasn't changed all that much. Because of that, all of this chronic stress is going to lead to other functions in the body that are not necessary for survival. Those are going to start to slow down. So reproductive function, right? Like your sex hormones, those are going to start to take a hit just because your body is under all this stress because you're simply not feeding it enough calories and you're putting way too much stress on it. So here is this nasty vicious cycle that you find yourself in. Hopefully it doesn't seem that complicated. Even though it might seem unexplained, there is definitely an explanation for it. And there's also a fix for it.
So we appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. And if you liked it, if it resonated with you, drop us a like, subscribe, drop us a comment. If you want to, feel free to share it with somebody who you feel like needs to hear this today. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye guys.